Now, as I've been flirting with all day, we've got Mr. Richie Randall from Gravehuffer on the phone. Richie, how are you, sir?
Walter, I'm doing fantastic, man. Thanks for having me, dude.
Absolutely, dude. You're a repeat offender here on the Wall of Woe, and it's always good having you, dude. You're a great interview. Good times. Great to talk to you, dude.
Same here, man. Yeah, it's always a pleasure, and I'm glad that you actually give a shit. You know, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where sometimes people sometimes it's hard to get people to get into your stuff. So we're glad there's metal station and others out there that support what we do. So cheers to that.
Cheers to you guys. And it's funny because I'm actually having a beer during my show. I haven't been drinking much this year, but I had to give up a vice. But today is a special day, so cheers to you, my friend. And you know what?
Sweet.
Something I love about Gravehuffer and you especially, you guys are promoters, man. It's a two-way street with you guys, and that's why I love having you on the show, because you're always, even if you're not on the show or I'm not even playing your fucking music that day, you're still out there sharing on social media. And I mean, you're a band that knows how to do it, dude. So, much
Thanks,
love
man.
to you. From, if the rest of the media world doesn't tell you, I appreciate it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, we live by the code of one hand washes the other, and we know who supports and who gets it, and we try to return the favor. So that's how we roll.
Hell yeah, dude. Much appreciated. Now, we got a lot to talk about. You've got a new album lined up coming out. You dropped a new single from it. The album is called NecroEclosion. Is that, am I pronouncing that?
NecroEclosion.
There we go.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. I was reading it properly. Mouth's not working today. Tongue and mouth are not, meshing. So, NecroEclosion. That's what I said. And you've dropped a new single for it. Ghost Dance. Sorry.
Yes.
Again, mouth's not working today. But, dude, tell us a little bit about the backstory of this album, what NecroEclosion means to the band, and this new song Ghost Dance, because I mean, you guys have always been all over the place as far as genres go. I can't put you in any fucking genre folder in my library. It's kind of like Gwar. I have Gwar as Gwar and Friends as a folder in my genres of library.
Yes.
So I mean, and you guys kind of fit that bill. You might end up in that Gwar folder, but tell us a little bit about the new album, man.
Yeah, as far as the title, I'm glad you asked. Our bass player Mike was, we've been throwing titles around, and we were one of the titles we had was Nonconformist, and because we thought, well, that's kind of what we are, but Mike was like, let's go a little deeper. He goes, what we're going through on this recording and the band and everything, it's like we're trying to emerge from the dead. He goes, what would be a title that would mean that? And so necro meaning death and eclosion meaning to emerge. And so that's basically what the title boiled down to. And because we were recording the record, we had a new drummer, he'd only been playing some shows with us, and so we were getting him involved in the writing process. And then halfway through writing and recording the record, James, our singer, who had been with us for 11 years, he ended up leaving, and it was in the middle of recording vocals, the first couple. I think he recorded vocals for one song, and then we're getting ready to do another one, and he dropped that bombshell that day in the studio, and it was just, man, we just didn't know what to do. So
oh shit, dude, we've got studio time here, man.
Exactly.
Now of all times, thanks COVID.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna blame COVID.
I mean, thankfully we were recording, and Mike's, our bass player's, he converted his third floor into a studio, and he bought all this gear and all. We got an old mixer that he bought. It's like a 24 or 18, 16 channel maybe mixer, an old analog mixer. So we're using all the old school vibes to mesh with the new school way of recording to get the kind of slimy sound we're known for. And so yeah, we did a lot of work getting all that set up, and like you said, the bombshell was dropped, and we were like, what the hell do we do,
What
and,
now?
Yeah, so it's like, man, it's kind of like one thing after another,
Looking around the room, ain't you guys good at fucking singing?
It's funny because, like, we even tried that before we started to, like, try out singers. I would sing and play, and then our new drummer, Jay, he's a really good singer, and he sings a fair amount on this new record. And, we tried to do the whole playing and singing thing, and it was like, we don't have time to relearn this, man.
Yeah,
It's
you guys are
not,
already past that.
right. It's like we were already, we're recording a record, it's like we don't have time to really, it just wasn't, the timing just was kind of weird. So we decided to try some people out, and we had like a handful of guys in mind. And Travis Mckenzie was the guy that we ended up going with, and he had worked with Mike on some other like projects, and one of them being Skunkworks Audio Unit, and they would do like these trippy kind of psychedelic sounding soundtracks, if you will, to old silent films like Metropolis and Phantom of the Opera, and
that's cool.
And Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, all these like old films. And yeah, it's really, really cool concept. What they would do is just watch the movie and then just play music along to it and record it.
Very cool.
Yeah, really, really neat. So Travis comes from that world, and he's like, man, I've never really sang in a band, So he's really stepped up, and he wrote a lot of lyrics, and he sings on a good 2/3 of the record. And he's got like 3 just very cool like voices that he does. One's like a crazy, like almost punk rock spastic thing, and he does like more of a death metal thing. And then he's also got kind of more of a, I don't know what you call it, maybe like a black metal vocal or something,
like a screechy kind of
like a screechy
high pitched vocal. Yeah,
like a So
it sounds like he's kind of starting to learn too, like what fits his bill and what he's comfortable with, being that, like he said, I've never really sang in a band before, never given it a run.
Yeah. And so it was kind of like, okay guys, all hands on deck, man. That was kind of one of the cool things about the record, is like it was very spontaneous, and we were just like, what we were feeling in that moment is kind of how it went down on tape, so to speak. So, it was pretty, we'd never worked that way before. All the other stuff we had done, it was songs we had written and played on shows and road tested, or whatever you want to call it. And this time, man, it was just writing and recording all at once. And it was kind of, it was very interesting. It was a little stressful at times.
I would imagine.
And I think part of that is just because we've never done it. But I think, I don't know, I personally enjoyed it a lot. I like spontaneity, and I kind of think that's where some of the best stuff comes from.
Dude, your entire catalog is all built around spontaneous reactions. Your music is spontaneous. So, I imagine, there was a little anxiety about it, but at the same time, I bet you guys thrived off it, because, dude, Gravehuffer, in my mind, the definition of it is spontaneous reaction. Listening to your music, knowing your music as well as I do at this point, like it's all got to be like that. So I bet this actually kind of drove the band in the back half of recording.
Yeah, it really did, and that's a pretty cool observation, and I feel like you are correct. Because it's funny, we would write stuff and we would not change it very, very, very rarely when we changed something. It was usually the first thing that came out of our hands or our mouths,
right,
or our limbs, whatever, who's playing what. And usually the first thing that comes to mind, they always say follow your first hunch, and I feel like we're pretty that's kind of our MO, we do tend to do that, so why not embrace it? So
right. Well, you've sent me the album. I haven't had a chance to listen to anything else except for the single that you've sent me to date. We were talking about that a little bit off record and before we went live here, but the new single that you've given us and the world, Ghost Dance, very far out of left field for me as far as when I listened to Gravehuffer. You know, it was very black and death metal-ish, if you will.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't put a genre on you guys, but if I had to explain it to a fan, you know, or a listener being turned on to your music, you know, you guys went down this kind of black metal-ish road. Was the new singer Travis on that? Did he sing on that song? And do you think okay, so did he have a lot of influence as far as, I know that you guys already had it written, but I mean, did it take it down that black and death metal road? Was the previous singer doing it in a different style that might have taken it down a different kind of genrealistic road? I don't even know if that's a word, but we're going with it today. We're making shit up as we go along. And, you know, did he have influence on the path of that song, I guess, what I'm asking?
Yeah, actually, he really did. Because he wrote the lyrics, and the song, it's interesting, like the way that song came about. Like the first A and B parts, or verse chorus, whatever you want to call it. Those were parts that Mike and I wrote, like, dude, probably 2 or 3 years ago at least. Okay. It's kind of weird thinking about it.
Pulling out of the library a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, actually, I'm sorry, just the verses, the that part. Yeah, that riff's been sitting around for a long time. I mean, I think that was even around during Your Fault. So yeah, it's old. So we always really liked it, but we never could really figure out what to do with it. So that kickstarted this whole thing, and so we started jamming on it. And then I can't remember what or who said, think of old school death metal, like Bolt Thrower or Death, you know,
some old Grave or something like that.
Yes. And just that kind of like chugging, like alternate picking, kind of just kind of goes along real nicely.
It's got a groove. It's got a locomotion to it, if you will.
Exactly. And so that's kind of like where that went. And then after it goes through that kind of whole process, the first half of the song, then it kind of veers off into really strange, like that whole octave section, you know.
It's as so much bizarre. Of your music does.
It does. And well, I don't understand why we do this, but we always hear the song taking different, it's like we always feel like we're on a racetrack or something. It's like, okay, turn. We got to turn. You know, we always feel like the song needs to have a turn somewhere.
Got a turn coming up, turn 4.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this isn't NASCAR. This is a road track, man.
Yeah, we're on the road courses, 24 hours Le Mans. Got a turn coming up. Got another turn coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it might as well be rally racing at this point.
Here comes the hairpin. Get ready.
Exactly.
Get ready.
Yeah, get ready. So yeah, I mean, that's just what we do, I guess. But everybody, every single one of us heard the song going there, and I just started playing that, and the room just lit up, and that's when we always say, like, when the room lights up, okay, that's where it's a keeper. And so the rest of the song was written that day out of that first riff. I mean, it was pretty crazy, and then we ended up like recording it, I think, the next weekend or something. And so our drummer Jay, he was even saying, like, man, I don't do double bass that much. And so this was like his first time like recording double bass drums. And so it was pretty cool. You know, we were all venturing on a path that we hadn't, I mean, we listen to stuff like that, but it's not stuff we've really played much. And like you say, the whole blackened death metal thing. And then as far as the vocal, you know, Travis, again, I've diverged there from your question. Sorry.
No, you're all fine, dude. We're just talking. This ain't an interview. We're having a conversation, brother.
We're having a conversation. Yeah. So Travis, the whole black metal thing. I can tell you, we were all listening to a lot of Darkthrone. So I'm not gonna lie that it probably snuck in there some.
You know what, though? I appreciate that out of a band. A lot of bands try to stick to their formula, and that works. You know, that works for a lot of people. A lot of bands, like I was talking to the guys from Paroxysmal Butchering, who are known as like a slam brutal death metal band, and they just fucking flipped the script recently and put out like a very blackened death metal album. And it's like, what the fuck? And I was talking with him, and he's got the next 4 albums lined up, and they're all different genres. Totally works for them. You know, it's a cool formula. It's working for them. Some people you listen to Incantation, and from one album to the next, it could be a follow-up. You know, it's that strict fucking formula that they follow. It works for them. Something that feels like works for you guys is whatever fucking type of mood that you're feeling that day.
Exactly, dude.
And that works for you.
Yeah. I mean, you hit it right on the head. I feel that's exactly what we say and what we tell people. It's like, whatever mood we're in, that's what's going to come out, you know? I mean,
yeah, because your Fall TP, I mean, goddamn, you guys go from punk rock to some death metal flavor to all over the board. And it keeps the album interesting.
It does. And, you know, there are some, like, they call them gatekeepers now or whatever, you know, or elitists, you know, that they want to put everything in a box and have the genres. And I understand. I really do. It does help you when you're trying to find stuff like to listen to or whatever.
Sure.
So yeah, I get that part of it. And it is a little bit of a pain in the ass on our end sometimes. Like, what are you guys? Fuck, man, I don't know.
We're extreme metal, because when I grew up and
that's usually what I do.
When I found Cannibal Corpse, it wasn't death metal yet. You know, we're talking long before the bleeding.
Yes,
it was fucking extreme metal.
Extreme metal, exactly.
And I hate the subgenring. It sucks. Is it not metal or is it metal?
Is it metal? Yeah.
But being a radio DJ, when I'm putting my playlist together and I want to switch my show up, my whole shit is cataloged as subgenres. You know, I've got slam and brutal, I've got death metal, I've got classic death metal, I've got progressive death metal, and it sucks because like I actually have to go through like the metal archives, Metal Encyclopedium, and see what the bands label themselves as, so that way I know which folder to put it into, because you know, a lot of these bands' flavor can fit into so many different subgenres, which is great when you're opening up for a national tour. You know, you can fit into a death metal tour, you can fit into a black and death metal tour, you can fit into a fucking punk tour if you want to, because you got the catalog. But I'm with you, dude. It's all extreme metal, but I get the reason why we subgenre everything.
Right.
I'm not a hater. It just annoys me a little bit.
Yeah, I get it. It's funny because that's usually what we do is we'll say, hey, we're just extreme metal. Extreme music, you know? We just play extreme music. And like, I'm exactly with you on the whole thing. It's like, I remember getting Altars of Madness, like around when it came out in '90. You know,
extreme metal.
Like, there wasn't such fucking thing as death metal.
Yeah,
you know?
I think Suffocation was the day that when we all heard Effigy of the Forgotten, we were like, okay, we need to call this something else.
Call this something else. Yeah.
This is beyond extreme. This is fucking brutal, and it reminds me of death. I'm going to call it death metal.
Right. Exactly.
But dude, and lots of exciting shit. I want to get back into the recording because you guys have always done the DIY thing, and that's very popular these days. There's nothing wrong with it. We have the tools at our disposal. Thank you again, technology and advancements. And there's nothing wrong with doing it. And it's great because following a band like Gravehuffer, as long as I have, you know, since the Your Fault EP, you know, not from the beginning, but I've seen the growing, I've seen the maturing. You learn new things. Last album, you're like, why would I ever have even done it like that? But
exactly, you
guys have new toys to play with, along with the mixer that you got. You and the bass player got some new cabinets last year, or this year, I should say. Did those play a role in the recording process? Because I love Robert Calhoun from Arachnid Cabinets. That's who I'm talking about. You guys got custom shit. Was the new album recorded with those?
Yes, every fucking note on the new record.
They better have been.
Was doing Arachnid Cabinet.
How was that process, and what kind of joy and what kind of new life did it breed into Gravehuffer for you guys?
Well, dude, I'm telling you, we were fucking so excited to start recording with those because we'd play shows, and every time those cabinets would roll into the venue, people are like, "Whoa,
where did you
sick.
get that, brother?"
Yeah, dude. Yep. I swear, every single time, man. And
they're beautiful cabinets.
They really
dude.
are, dude.
And I know that they sound great.
They do. They sound fantastic. I'm sitting here staring at it in my living room right now. So it's so it's like, yeah, I got my whole setup right here, and so we're switching rehearsal studios, whatever, right at the moment. Our bass player, his dad had passed away about a year ago. And so he's moving into his dad's house, and he's fixing it up, and that's going to be our new jam record spot. So we're going to have an entire house. So anyway, yeah. So recording with those, it was great, dude. We were just so psyched to finally be able to record with it, and we had just bought like this mic clip. It's called the Fredman Mic Clip, and it's like you put these mics at like a weird 45-degree angle or something crazy. And it's all the Swedish death metal is where it came from, and like all your Gothenburg bands like your At the Gates and your Dismember, and all that whole like Swedish kind of chunky sound is from that mic clip. And so our bass player Mike's like, "Dude, buy one of those mic clips." So I was like, "Okay, man." So I bought one, and that was the tone on the album through those Arachnid cabinets. And then Mike, we put a couple mics on his Arachnid cabinets. We mic'd, he's got two, and we mic'd each one and blended the sounds, and that's the bass tone. And fuck, it's just, dude, it's just gnarly. It's just gross. And that's exactly what we wanted. We just want the ugliest sound you can think of, and I think we did pretty good.
And Arachnid cabinets, not to turn your interview about Gravehuffer into an Arachnid cabinets fucking promotion.
No.
But I went to Las Vegas Death Fest last year, and he backlined the entire fucking show. You know, when you've got 80 bands in 3 days, let's all use the same cabs. Exactly. So dude, that entire weekend was just so full of chunky crunch and deep bass. The bass cabs, I mean, as impressive as the guitar cabs are, the bass cabs deliver. And you got Texas Heats in those. The speakers are quality. Heats. All of the interface and inside of the cabs are amazing. Oh, yeah. So, and like you said, they look quality. Custom cabs with your scrim printed right on the grill, custom paint or Rolex, not Rolex.
It's like Duratex
or something like that. Yeah. Robert Calhoun just puts it down. But fortunately, you guys actually got to play some shows before the whole thing got shut down because of COVID. So they're a little road tested for you guys as well, not just in the production of the new album, but live on stage.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful. Well, that's fucking great. I'm glad that you guys are venturing into new avenues as far as production goes. All you can do is go up from here. You guys are learning new tricks all the time.
Yes, definitely.
But other exciting news, you guys are working with Black Doomba Records for the vinyl release of this, and working very closely with them. Tell us about your relationship with Black Doomba Records. Facebook.com/Black Doomba.
Yes. The Tommy Stewart is the head of Black Doomba Records, and I believe he's tuned in right now.
What up, Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy.
Big shout outs.
Yes. So Tommy was in a band called Hollow's Eve. I don't know if you've heard of them or not.
It's crossed my computer screen before, I believe.
Yeah,
I did some research on Black Doomba when you guys signed up, and I'm actually very impressed with their mission goal, if you will, their mission statement. So
right. Yeah. So Tommy was, they were with Metal Blade Records. I mean, they were a pretty big deal. They toured with Slayer and Motorhead, and he's told us lots of cool stories.
I bet.
And so
I bet some of those backstage stories are wild.
Oh my gosh.
Might have to get Tommy on air with me one day. I want to hear some of those stories.
He just messaged me and said he is tuned in and he appreciates the shout out.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Tommy? Good to thank you very much for tuning in and supporting, man.
Yeah. That's freaking rad. So Tommy's just a fantastic guy, and he knows his stuff, and he's given us so much guidance for releasing the record and all the promo we've been doing and stuff so far. And but we're doing a vinyl release through them, and it's gonna be a 3-color, full 12-inch vinyl, and it's gonna come out in January the 15th, I believe. Pre-sales will start October 18th, and you'll get like posters, download of Ghost Dance, and another song possibly. I'm not sure. We're still discussing that.
For pre-sales, so you'll get a couple singles, and then eventually you'll get the entire album after it releases. Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then like I said, you get some free swag with the pre-sale. Like we got a couple posters that we had printed up that kind of match the artwork for some of the songs, and then what was I going to say? Shit. Anyway, they'll be hand numbered as well. So
cool.
So Tommy will be hand numbering. I believe they're 250 hand numbered. So yeah, it's going to be a really cool deal. And the colors are going to be something that will match the art, the front cover art, like a yellows, reds, blacks, that kind of thing.
Now, is it 3 color per disc or 3 different variations of the album?
But I believe 3 colors per disc.
Okay, cool.
And I'm not sure if it's going to be like a splatter or a marble or swirl. I'm not 100% sure exactly. I'm thinking we're going to do like a marbling effect. And those look cool. So,
dude, I watched a documentary on how albums are pressed, especially, and they showed a lot of the color variations and how they do the custom. Cool shit, dude. Very cool shit. And it's still old school. It's not new technology by any means.
Right.
They're still pressing albums the way they did 20 years ago. Your Zeppelin album is pressed the same way as your Gravehuffer album. You're welcome. You're welcome, John Morris. I threw that out there for you. He loves Zeppelin.
Yay. Oh, is it Ducats?
Yeah, Ducats loves Zeppelin. Hey, as a matter of fact, if anybody's listening, if you can just get his address and send him all your Led Zeppelin merch, he'll love you for that.
That's hilarious. He's hilarious. That guy's something else, man.
He is something else, I'll say that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Speaking of Zeppelin, actually, I just got back from her funeral, and they played Stairway to Heaven there, so it was pretty emotional, but it was Zeppelin, dude.
It was Zeppelin, cool. Dude.
Yeah.
Damn, my condolences, dude, to you
man.
and the family of the fallen. So
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, because I'm all over here like a dick. Like 3 hours before we're supposed to interview, I'm like, "What's your number?" Because we've never talked before. I've never saved your number, and I try to be cool like that, like not save like my interview's phone number. Like we're best fucking friends now, bro. But you've been on the show so many times, I should have your number. Hey, dude, what are you doing? Are you ditching me? Are you falling? Are you backing out of this interview? And you're like, no, I'm at a funeral. I'm like, I'm a dick.
That's awesome.
You go ahead and take your time. We'll get you on the show as soon as you get home.
Right. Yeah, it's all good.
Well, dude, so let's go into a little bit of COVID times. What was the last show you played live on stage, you and the band?
It was this last January. We played here in Joplin at this place called Blackthorn Pizza and Pub. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Dude, they feed the bands. You get free pizza. You get like $1 beers or whatever if you drink. And it's just fantastic.
Do they give you coins for the arcade too?
I wish.
Sorry, it just sounded like a Chuck E. Cheese there for a second.
Right. Yeah.
They give you free pizza, pitchers of soda.
Yeah, pitchers of soda.
No, I'm just fucking with you, dude. Blackthorn Pizza. I'm just kidding, man.
Right. They're probably like, no. But it's run by people who are in bands, so they totally get, bands on the road. First thing they want to do is eat. I mean,
absolutely.
Seriously, man. I know when we're on the road, it's like, where's the nearest place to fucking eat? We're hungry. So,
it's funny. That just came up in conversation. I was watching for Internal Bleeding fans, the 2 guitar players, Chris and Chris. Mm-hmm. They do every Saturday. They do this thing called the Smoke Sesh, where they just bullshit with different band members from different bands. And they had Frank Rini on, and he was talking about being out here in Phoenix years ago, 95, not current Phoenix, but showed up. The promoter didn't pay him. And when they went to go get the free food that they were supposed to get from the venue, they were like, that's going to be, $1 million. And they were like, wait, we're with the band. And they're like, we don't give a fuck. And that's bullshit, dude. If you've got food at your venue, you feed your fucking bands, dude.
Feed your bands. Yeah, dude. I mean, wow, we've been there before. You know, you go to play and it's like, really? We got to pay for. I mean, I'm not expecting shit, but it's like, dude, you know, I mean, we're here to play a show and bring you some extra business. You know, maybe you could return the favor a little bit.
You know, I look at it like this: when a band's out on tour and they show up to your venue, it should be like the Viking welcome. Like, fuck a green room. You should have like a grand hall and like this huge
Right.
fucking like 20-foot fucking table where all the bands get together. They have a nice meal, drink some grog, and get ready for their show after that, you know?
Right, yeah.
They shouldn't have to sit in the alley eating a fucking Circle K hot dog, blasting on their practice pads, you know what I mean?
Right. Dude, and we've done that before.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Dude, it's... See, you know what's up, and
I just talked to a lot of bands, dude.
Yeah, as I say, you probably heard all the fucking horror stories.
Oh, dude, my homies in Abhorrent Deformity out of North Carolina. When they came through town, they were on their way to Las Vegas Death Fest. Might as well do a tour. You know, they picked up some dates along the way. They showed up in a Kia Soul, dragging a tiny little trailer behind it. When I got to the venue, and a tiny little bar, the Rebel Lounge, or no, not the Rebel Lounge. It was no, I forget at this point. It's gone. It's gone now. But
of course,
they were all sleeping in the booths, and like their bass and drummer, they were playing pool. And I'm like, "What's up, guys?" They're like, "We're so tired. They'd been sleeping at rest stops from North Carolina to Phoenix." Eating Circle K or come and go food.
Yep, come and go food.
You know,
Casey's, whatever.
It's like, dude, come stay at my place tonight. All I have is some floor to offer you, but it's got to be better than concrete. You know,
right?
I'll feed you. I'll put you to bed. You guys can bail whenever you wake up. I don't give a fuck.
Right. Right.
So,
yep.
Bands go through that shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, especially when you're at the OG freaking DIY level, like you were saying earlier, it's like, man, we don't have people bankrolling our shit. You know, we're self-sustaining. You know, we're getting to gig by what we make at the door and what we sell on merch, and that's how we fill the fuel tank and buy our food. So, I mean, you know,
yeah, I've talked to bands that have taken out loans to go on tour. Like, this tour is going to cost us $10,000. I took out a loan for $12,000. That's not enough to get us by, and I'm going to end up paying $22,000 on it after interest.
Right.
Woo, go death metal.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's fucking, dude, gas eats you alive.
Sure, especially state to state. In Oklahoma, it's $2. In fucking Texas, it might be $3.
Yeah, you get to fucking California, and it's $5.
Oh, we don't even go to California anymore.
Sorry, California.
Sorry, Cali. I love you. I miss you. I grew up there, but Arizona's a little better.
Yeah, right.
But dude, awesome shit. How's the new drummer working out, man? Jay Willis, is that correct?
Jay, Jay. He's working out fantastic. I mean, he wrote quite a few riffs for the new record. He did probably a quarter of the vocals, if not more, on the new record. And so dude, he's slotting in really good. And he's a badass drummer, and it's kind of cool to have, like I was talking about, doing double bass stuff. You know, it's not something he's really been, used to, but he can do it, obviously.
I don't give a fuck if he can sing and drum at the same time. That's better than double bass pedals, dude.
Right.
Phil Collins the fuck out of that, you know.
Phil Collins, that's right.
Is that something that he's interested in doing for future albums with you guys? Like, is he like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking get down on it and learn some double bass? Or
yeah, it is. Like, I mean, he's just like, well, dude, I thought the riff called for it, you know. I mean, and that's the thing. We're just kind of like, we just play our stuff, and then once everybody gets their head wrapped around whatever part it is, then we basically feel it and see what feels the best, you know. Sometimes we're like, hey, I hear double bass there, when we may suggest, but most of the time, whoever's playing their particular instrument knows what they need to do.
Sure.
And that's what he, or like he'll just start doing double bass in a part, and it's like, fuck, dude, this gives it some groove, man. This is awesome, And it's like it's kind of new territory for us a little bit, so we've been enjoying it a lot. And I don't think he's gonna sing and play drums as much as he sang on the record. I think Travis is going to sing more. I think mainly we split up the vocal duties just because Travis was so new at it. So that's part of the reason why the vocals are just everywhere.
Sure.
And we did a lot of layering too. Like a lot of the vocals are like myself and Jay, myself and Travis, Travis and Jay, or all three of us, you know. And then we had some guests, you know. So I mean, it's just there's a lot of shit going on, dude.
I bet, dude. As with, dude, when you say Gravehuffer, there's a lot of shit going on. Period.
Right. Man, I can't wait for you to hear it, dude. I'm curious to see what you think of it.
Well, you know, I'll give you some feedback on the side. Like I said, just hectic week. Got it to me a couple days ago, so I didn't have time. But and this won't be our last time hanging out talking on air by any means. So.
Probably not. And I'm sure we'll be seeing I'm sure we'll be seeing each other in person maybe next year. So.
God, that would be wonderful, dude. I need to get the fuck out of the state, dude. I am tired of just. I love doing my radio show, but it's like work, do a radio show, and then jack off Saturday and Sunday, dude.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe play some video games in there.
Right. Yeah. Just sneak some of that in there. But yeah, we're definitely going to be playing some shows next year. So, I mean, we've already got a handful booked at least.
Well, this is what I would like to do because you guys aren't very far from my sisters who live in Donovan, Missouri. So,
shit.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I can kill a bunch of birds with one stone. Come hang out at that badass Chuck E. Cheese that you were talking about. Watch you guys play live. Maybe bring a sister or two with me. Get to see some family while I'm there. You know, it'll be badass. So, yeah. No, we're gonna. And plus, you guys did what was it? The Kansas City Death Fest last year.
Topeka Metal Fest.
Topeka Metal Fest. That's the one.
Yes.
I'll call it whatever I want to.
That's right.
It's my show. I'll call it what I want. Sorry, I'm a little surly today, dude. It's been a good week. So
nice.
But yeah, no, I can't wait to meet up with you, dude. Shake hands, give a hug, and drink a beer with you, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, dude. It is gonna be awesome.
So,
like I said, I'm sure we'll be heading your way. So because we've got a friend that wants us to play in Albuquerque. So I know that's not super far.
No, you're like eight hours away if you're in Albuquerque. So
yeah, that's shit, dude. We'll drive that far for one show. So
and I know a few people, a couple promoters out here in Arizona that would be happy to have you guys on, throw a show around it, party.
Right.
We got a place for you guys to crash, so that way you don't have to do the pit stop at the. At the QT.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I guess we'll just sleep in the fucking van or whatever.
Yeah, QT is a safe place. That means there's lots of tweakers around it.
Yeah,
that's how you get your shit stolen. Yeah, 3:30.
Dude, fuck. Telling me. I mean, usually one of us is like awake the whole time, or we take.
Somebody's got to stand guard.
Dude, seriously. Fuck, man.
I mean, when you're on the road with that much equipment and a master lock. Somebody's got to stand guard, dude.
Dude, you can't fuck around, man. You see all the stories on Metal Injection or Blabbermouth or whatever. So and so's van trailer got stolen,
and here's the GoFundMe link.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah,
that's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I can only imagine what it's like being on tour and then all of a sudden. Van gets jacked or the trailer gets emptied and it's like, so anybody got a guitar I could borrow so we could finish this thing? Like, and it's got to be personal. Like, I know bands are way cool. Like, dude, you can use our equipment. It's all good. It'll be actually easier for setup and breakdown. But at the same time, the drummer's on the side going, motherfucker, I just got those drum heads, dude. Or I just restrung all of my guitars and he is breaking every one of them. Like, you don't want to ask, but, people are cool like that and shit. So,
yeah. And it's happened before, like where I've played shows and like, my gear's not working or whatever, and I've had to use gear or whatever.
Sure, an amp head or a cord here and there, but the entire set?
The entire set, nah.
Yeah.
Never been there, and we don't ever plan on going there, but it's like, fuck, dude, you just don't know. But you just have to be really careful, be really mindful, know your surroundings, just try to be safe, and it's all you can do, man.
Yeah, and have perimeter checks. Gotta keep somebody awake all night.
Yep, you seriously do. If that's the way you're rolling, like if you got to get sleep somewhere,
Yeah.
you just take it in shifts. Hey, I'll stay awake for a couple hours and then wake me up. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, you got to have the driver and then somebody stay awake with the driver. You got to have a DJ. Is what goes on. Yeah. You need a fucking travel DJ. Keep the driver awake.
Dude, and it's usually me and Mike. It's like we usually switch, so
right. Fucking great, dude. Well, hey man, before I let you go, plug that shit away. When can we expect a new album? Pre-orders, where can we find all of it? Tell us all of your information.
Well, the pre-orders will be blackdoombarecords.bandcamp.com. I believe that's it. And
big shout out to Black Doomba. Tommy, hit me up, dude. I want to talk to you. I want to get you on air, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's an interview it'll blow your mind, all the shit he has to say.
I'll block out a good hour for it.
I'd say at least. He can talk, man.
Maybe we'll do a couple different segments. I'll just keep him on the entire show.
There you go. So yeah, that's the pre-order's going to be happening at Black Doomba's Bandcamp page, and October 18th, I believe, is when that will happen. And we're going to have a video for Ghost Dance coming out like really, really soon. And I can't wait for everybody to see that. It's going to be like a cool lyric video with some cool visuals. And, it's pretty, it kind of pisses you off watching it because it's about the Wounded Knee Massacre. And it's kind of like, come on, why in the fuck did they do that to those people?
Why is this happening?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, damn. If you're a person that has any kind of compassion and empathy, that is. But, anyway, we won't go there.
Yeah, that's another interview.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that'll be coming out very soon. And then, like I said, the pre-sale comes with some swag, some posters. You get a download or two with it. And we'll have a couple other singles coming out between now and the release, which is January 15th, 2021. And it'll be on 3-color vinyl, and it's going to be badass. And Gravehuffer.bandcamp.com will have it also. And by the way, Bandcamp is waiving artist fees today, so get your ass to Bandcamp, everybody, and buy some shit.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, and dude, big shout out to Bandcamp. I'm a premium Spotify user, but I will freely say fuck Spotify right now.
Yeah.
I'll thank you for my 7,000th of a cent for playing a song, but whatever. I use it because it's good research. But Bandcamp, man, they are fucking leading the way. Even if it's one day a month, which it seems to be every first Friday of the month, they waive all the fees, and it's going great. Like everybody's like saving up money because Bandcamp Friday, dude, and they don't seem to have a problem with it. They're not losing out on that much money, and they're happy to see it. It's a legitimate good cause that they're doing. And in today's industry with torrent sites and all the ripping of music, it's good to see a place that's trying to relieve some of that.
Yeah, it really is. And their fees aren't like fucking crazy expensive, but any little bit helps. Like usually we don't get paid much, if any, for downloads, because it covers fees typically. But when sometimes on the Bandcamp Fridays, people will download our stuff, and man, it it's like, holy shit, man, I'm not used to seeing the funds,
Well, it's not
downloads.
Like any fucking band on Bandcamp is taking that and going and buying fucking heroin with it. They're like, okay, this is going to go into merch. I need new strings. This is going to go into the production of the new album, along with all the, other event areas that we're getting money from. And then I'm going to take the rest of it, 70% of it out of pocket, and put it back in the band. You guys are just fucking leaking money into a hobby.
Seriously,
dude. As much as every band wants to be professional, it's just a fucking money sucker,
It really is, man.
And I'm glad to see Bandcamp trying to give back some of that,
Right. Yeah. It helps a lot, because thank fuck for Bandcamp for being there to host all your music, all your merchandise. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, ticket sales. You can sell your tickets through Bandcamp. Bundles. Bandcamp does it all.
Oh yeah, dude, we utilize all that, and I'm so happy that they're available for all that. So cheers to them.
and they have bills too. Just having a website and a URL name that costs fucking money yearly.
Yep.
You know?
And you think about the bands that have their own URL, how many? You know, I mean, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
That was a big thing back in the day before social media. Like, good bands had their own website. You know, morbidangel.com. You know, like that cost them money, but not every band was doing it. So
right.
Well, Richie, dude, it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure talking with you always. I'm glad to have you as a friend, because I call you a friend at this point. You've been on the show so many times, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you. You're such a great interview, dude. So, you know,
thanks, man.
Mi casa, su casa. Whenever you want to come on air, you know to hit me up, dude. And you're always hanging out, listening every week in the chat room. So that's kind of how this interview worked out. Like, hey, Richie, when are we gonna have you on? Next Friday? I'm like,
next Friday.
I think we could work that out. And I go on Facebook. You're like, next Friday, I'm on Walters Wallow, and I'm like, yep, that's happening. So, you know what? Big shout out to you guys. Congratulations on the new drummer. Sorry to hear, but I'm glad that you guys picked up a new vocalist, because that breathes new life in the bands. Arachnid Cabinets for you guys. Black Doomba Records. You guys got a lot going on, man. And I'm loving the new music. It is definitely the best Gravehuffer I've heard to date. And not just because it's like black and death metal. I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of the album. But, dude, Ghost Dance, I'm digging on that album, or that song.
Dude.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man. Awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate what you do for everybody.
Oh, thank you, dude. And we're going to play that song right now. Bro.
Okay.
Great talking to you. Anytime you need anything, hit me up, man.
All right, man. You take care, dude.
You too. Talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
Later.